Hey, everybody. You're listening to the Mixed Nuts Podcast. I'm Phil Hirsch, along with my pal Richard Marks, here to discuss what's going on in this mixed up world. So relax and sit back, grab a beverage, and a handful of mixed nuts. No telling where the conversation may go. Follow us on all social media and our YouTube channel, Mixed Nuts Nation. You have to be crazy to listen.
Well, hello, everybody. We made it through the pre-show craziness and stumbling and bumbling around trying to find power chords. And
if I can quote Chris Norman and Susie Quattro.
Boy,
I love that song, by the way.
Oh,
Stumbling in?
Don't know.
That is such a damn good song, let me tell you. Probably one of the most underrated songs of the 70s.
There was a bar in Madison called the Stumble Inn.
Really?
Which should have been more appropriately named the Stumble Out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Stumble In, but
yeah, that's true. Unless people are already inebriated by the time they enter, who knows?
Yeah, anybody who knows from the days back then.
Yeah.
I apologize. It was called the Shuffle In.
Oh, the Shuffle In.
Not the Stumble In.
Everybody shuffling.
I still like Stumble Out better.
Yep, exactly.
Stumble Out bar.
Well, I'll tell you, Rich, I am so excited about July. Cannot wait. This has been a long time coming. I honestly, I got to give Trish the Dish a lot of credit for being a part of our show. As you know, very recently, she was fantastic. And the bottom line is this: she's the catalyst, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that all of us are going to be reunited in person is going to be exciting, especially at Pod Populi in Boca. So, cannot wait. It's been a long time since we've done one of those shows in Boca. So, it's a long time coming.
Well, I spoke to her lesser half last night.
Her lesser half?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly. My God, I'm losing it. Wow. Coffee has not kicked in.
Yes, Alan and I had a nice chat last night. And
how's he doing?
He's doing good. Doing good. In fact, tonight they're doing a live version of their show. It's yet to be determined whether it's going to be outdoors in the elements down in Boca Raton, which could be a little dicey because it is 90 degrees every day.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Humid. And I think they should probably lobby one Brian Howie to let them do it inside the nice plush air-conditioned offices.
Unless they're in bathing suits. If they're in bathing suits with a towel around their neck, that could potentially work.
Maybe not.
As long as they're in then you got mosquitoes too. That could be a problem.
Mosquitoes. That's
Trust
the least of it.
Well, you're telling me.
So they're having a little get together. I think it's a 5-year anniversary for the Boca location for Pod Populi.
No kidding.
Which, by the way, coincidentally, we are affiliated with, while we do a remote broadcast, we are affiliated with Pod Populi.
Yes, we are.
For many years.
Yes. Going way back. Since the
I
time we
would
met.
dare put up our longevity against many of their other podcasters who have come and gone.
No doubt.
We are still
it's our longevity, baby.
I think.
Exactly. The late Greg Ken.
And so that's kind of cool. That's going to go down tonight. And the plan is to get in there the week of the 6th. I'm not sure what day yet specifically. But
we'll have to pick a date that works for us.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make a night of it. We'll do a show. We'll go out to eat.
Yep. And it's going to be in the evening, I presume, too.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It have to be for Al anyway. His schedule prohibits during the day. So.
Okay, because Wednesday nights are a little tricky. I think I have July 9th written down for the pod. So that is one of the dates that works. The 8th I definitely cannot do.
Well, we'll see. We'll hammer that out at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So a couple of things. I've got a really loaded bag here of stuff to talk about, but that's more of a serious nature, a little whimsical stuff, a little funny stuff.
Sure, please.
But I know you were chomping at the bit to talk about the acquisition of one Brady
Tkachuk. And by the way, speaking of the Tkachuks, congratulations to Keith Tkachuk, the dad, father of Brady and Matt Tkachuk. He has been inducted into the NHL Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, what do you know?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And Carey Price and Patrice Bergeron, among others.
Big week for the family. Wow.
Yeah, is that incredible? My God. That family's got hockey in their blood, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think he ever won a cup, did he?
No, Keith never did, and neither did Brady. Matt, of course, has won too. And so they keep it in the family. But I'm stoked. I got to say, I've always been a fan of Brady Tkachuk. He's a very gritty player. He does score goals. He scored, I think, 1 year 37, if I'm not mistaken. This year he was in the 20s. But I got to say, you put him on a line with his brother Matt and say someone like, oh, I don't know.
Are they both centers?
I'm not sure. That's what I got to find out. Sometimes players can make transitions, so you never know. But Brad Marchand, imagine all three of them on the same line, if that's even doable. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think he's going to be...
You don't have to be on the same line just because they're brothers.
I think it's going to be a great addition. Now, yes, there's a very heavy price.
Now, let me ask you something. You're a hockey historian. You know these things.
To a degree. Yeah.
Were the Plagers, remember the Plagers
Bob and Barkley, yes.
Were they all on the same line? Weren't they all on the same line at one point?
They were paired defensively together, I believe. Bob and Barkley played that's going way back in time. I was very young. I mean, they played, I think, until the late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And they played almost their entire careers, if not with the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
And so one of them died young. I think it could have been Barkley Plager, maybe, in the late 80s, may have had a brain tumor or had cancer. I'm not sure. The other one was old enough. Bob, I think, was there when the Blues won in 2019.
I wonder if there was ever a goal where one scored a goal and the other two assisted on it. So it said Plager from Plager and Plager. It's almost like
sounds like a law firm. Oh, man, we're on the same page. The law firm of Plager, Plager, and Plager will score for you. Hablamos español, That would be kind of neat. I'd love that.
We'll keep your adversaries in check.
Well, how about Tkachuk from Tkachuk? That could also happen. Law offices of Tkachuk and Tkachuk. So anything is possible. But yeah, the Plagers were tough as nails. Old-time hockey, no helmets. They did those hip checks.
The Sutters. Were
there Sutters too.
Oh my God. Sutters in the league at one point?
Yeah, there was Dwayne, there was Brent, there was Ron, there was Rich, and I might be, there
was John Boy and there was Sue Ellen.
Yeah, exactly. And the Waltons theme playing. Yep.
Yes. Good night, Dwayne.
Good times. Good night, John Boy. Good night from Eustace.
They're all sleeping in the same bedroom, yeah?
Yeah, I know. Oh,
all
God.
6 of them.
Did you just fart, John Boy? Yes, I did, Pa. I'm really sorry for passing wind. So, who knows? Oh, good times, I'll tell you. I love that show. Love the Waltons. God, that's when television was wholesome, with a capital W. Wholesome. And that is the truth. Little House on the Prairie.
And then all got shattered when Sue Ellen was doing porno. It was really bad.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
Jesus. You almost killed me, Rich.
No, I'm just making that up.
A little early for that content, don't you think? I mean,
whoever that actress is, I apologize. I've seen you so long.
Yeah. Wow, Sue Ellen doing
Richard Thomas is still around. Is it Richard Thomas, the guy with the big mole on his face?
Yeah, Richard Thomas. He's done a lot of work. I mean, just his body of work is incredible.
He's in his 70s, I think.
Not that I'm gay or anything. I'm not talking about his body, but I'm talking about his body of work. So just so people don't get confused. And I'm not. I promise you. Boy, am I sweating. Look at that. Jeez Louise. It's the humidity, and also being in a studio can do that. So
well, it's also and being in my presence does that to people.
It does. I do get misty. No question about that. So play Misty for me, Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes, we are sweating for sure. Yes.
So I'm in my wonderfully air-conditioned basement here, and if you hear,
I'm not in my air-conditioned studio. I wish I was.
Well, if you hear like loud clanging, banging sounds, the official, it's like I went back to Ohio and my kitchen was gone.
Oh,
yeah, they totally, it's like the Pretenders song. I went back to Ohio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Back to Ohio.
I went back to Ohio.
Yep, great
song. The kitchen was gone.
Yeah, Pretenders.
Dishwasher, refrigerator.
They had some great hits. I'll Stand By You is my all-time favorite by Chrissy. Back on the Chain Gang, of
Oh,
course.
hi.
Another great
Do,
song.
do, do, do.
Middle of the Road.
Yep.
Boy, that's some great. But I'll Stand By You. Man, that song just
Yeah, that was her like big hit later
signature song
in her
yeah.
career. Yeah.
Oh, and her voice too was just awesome.
So
Makes you
they are
cry.
finally they started the work yesterday, and we're in for 2 months of basically roughing
2
it,
months.
as they say. So
Wow.
yeah, middle late to late August is the completion date with everything. I mean, they're doing a lot, so it's been a long time coming. We've known about this for 6 months. So we've known that
Really?
this happened like 6 months ago. And so it's like the countdown, and finally it's here,
Hmm.
and the tear apart and everything. And
It's the final countdown, if I can quote Europe.
cats are trying to adjust. It's funny. We have this big plastic veil that kind of like it's like a dust barrier.
Yeah.
And Mittens, our orange tabby, our energetic almost 18-year-old cat,
Wow.
is taken to swatting at the thing nonstop, like it's a punching bag. He just loves
like exercise, working out.
The sound it makes, and the whole thing shakes, and he stands there in front of it with his paws, and he's smacking it.
Create an AI video of Mittens. Let me tell you, those cat videos. Did you ever see the alley cats? Speaking of cats, they have these alley cats where you have this real human being, and she's interviewing these AI cats.
Oh yeah,
El Nippo. What do you think of? What do you think of Big Tuna? I don't know about you guys, but Big Tuna is going to be taking a lot of chances right now, man. Okay? We need to keep the feds out of our alley. And then they'll just interview other people, and it's Big Tuna. Hey, look, there's going to be a fish fry. I want to be a part of it. Okay, there's money to be made. Count me in. It's the best. Oh, God. So creative. I got to give him credit. That's something I'm going to have to aspire to do. I have so many ideas. I'm going to have to take a course.
There's a lot of stuff. Cats are very versatile in terms of all kinds of.
They can play guitar. They can take a pot and hit a boss in the head with it. I mean, there's some funny stuff.
Oh,
even the meows are spot on.
Just the real stuff with their watching cats interact with each other, and just put a camera on two cats long enough, eventually they're going to do something,
creative,
worthy.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. What can I say?
No, it's all good. I've seen some of your videos. They're pretty nice. It's awesome, man.
They're the ones that get all the views, by the way.
Yeah. If I was going to be in Boca tonight, I would swing on by. And I you know what? I dress like a Canadian. I'd wear Crocs and socks. I'd wear very colorful and flowery bathing trunks. And I'd wear a tank top. And I'd have a towel around my head with a big giant hat, like Lee Van Cleef.
Oh, you're not going to be anywhere close to that? You're going to be out in Miami mostly?
Because I'm working the FIFA event, so I spend a lot of time in Miami. And so I'm going to, I can't say what I'm doing, obviously, because I just can't. But let's just say I'm part of the staff.
Oh, but you're not doing, are you doing that tonight?
Not tonight, but tomorrow I am.
Oh. Yeah.
So, and I guess
tonight is their thing.
Yeah.
Trish.
Trish the Dish.
Yes.
And your pal Al and Phil the Thrill. See, I think that would be a good nickname for possibly July. We'll see. And I might go for it. You never know.
She's a lot of fun. She is. Well, I mean, how else do you say it? She's very pretty.
She's beautiful. She's stunning.
She's got a beautiful smile on her and everything.
She's gorgeous. And, we follow each other on Instagram. I tagged her. I collaborated. I sent her that link. So this way it could be on her page, where you accept an invite on Instagram. All of a sudden you create more traction. More people get to see those views, and it's a win-win for everybody. Anytime you invite someone to collaborate. So, but she was great. Loved having her on. Just a breath of fresh air. And I think it's such a benefit for Al too, to have her. They bounce off each other well.
Well, yeah, so, honestly,
this show is
I had sense that he had lost interest, and he didn't really know where he was going to go with this thing. Because every show he'd start up and he'd be talking about things that were bothering him in today's society, and he didn't have a sounding board. He just kind of would throw it out there and talk to himself. And now he's got someone to bounce ideas off of. And,
what a difference!
With. Yeah. And it just elevated his mood as much as anything.
No question.
He seems much happier doing it. So.
And he brought let me tell you, it's a game changer for him too, because he's now at a different level. when you have someone you can bounce off of, and I'll give you an example. When I was doing radio way back in the day when we met at WWNN when it was talk, what a difference when Angie and I were on together and when you and I were on together versus my former boss, not the current one who's trying to sell the station, but my original boss. Him and I, we just had no chemistry.
Yeah, you were carrying the whole show.
Yeah, I had to carry that weight, if I can quote the great Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
And that was the truth. I really did. And it was cumbersome and burdensome, if I could say that. Burdensome is the right word versus cumbersome, even though it felt cumbersome. But when Angie was on, boy, it brought out the best in me. She did. Loved bouncing off of her. And she had such an infectious laugh. That too made the difference. And we just had a lot of fun. I'm only sorry it lasted a month. It's like most relationships that I go through, they last a month. But it is what it is. It's like I change my underwear more often. But honestly, it was the best of times. That's how I have to look at it. And I have all my shows. I have copies of all my shows, thanks to Rich, our former board op, who, of course, was kind enough to send me everything. And, it's all about timing in life. When I was also working as the production manager, I got copies of all my work. Yeah. I made sure, even on my final day, I got copies of the 5 PSAs I voiced, one of which I think is on my demo reel.
Do you remember the name of the guy who we were toying with the idea of going? He was setting up his own little studio over in Deerfield Beach, out of his house. Do you remember that guy? We went there and checked his place out one time.
I know who you're talking about.
For the life of me.
Yeah. I haven't heard from him in a dog's age.
Real nice guy. He was like
he was.
He was at the station there for.
He was a board op too, and I don't think he's there anymore. And again, I don't know. I haven't been in. Dan, was it?
Yeah, Dan,
the board op man.
Dan, the board op man.
Yeah. Dan, the board op man, like Mean Gene, the dancing machine.
There you go. He was helpful because he ended up pirating some of our old stuff that was property of the station that we couldn't get, and he would kind of on the quiet sent me a whole bunch of files so that we would have it for posterity.
Which is great because sometimes you never know what a new owner is going to do. Also, I had to do something similar. I remembered I had to go into a room where there was a key and I had to download files that were my own and delete some of my own clips. Because hey, listen, if I'm not at the radio station or I don't know what you're going to do with these clips, that's my creativity. I'm using that for my own benefit. And if I created something like, for example, my phony phone call of my late great mother, God rest her soul. I played that phony phone call multiple times for the radio station. I got rid of all those files. And I have them because if I want to use them in the future, if I want to use it on our show, that's up to me. And if we decide, hey, I'll have an image of my mom and we'll play the phony phone call for 2 to 3 minutes, whatever we want. So I missed that. I mean, that to me was such an honor on so many levels. Number one, my mother physically was not there, but spiritually I felt her presence, even playing that phone call. And so it was what a gift to have a copy of that audio. I think that's the only audio I have of my mother, sadly, but it's such a memorable piece. And, I'm lucky. I interviewed my dad. I actually have a full 1-hour interview when I was in New York back in early April, and I recorded everything. And so to have all that is just, it's a blessing. It truly is. So,
yeah, it's ironic you should say that because when my father passed away in 2014, my sister was living at where he was living for many years.
Okay.
And his answering machine, of course, had his voice on the machine.
Oh.
And I remember when I'd call my sister a couple times before she eventually moved out to Pennsylvania, I'd hear my father's voice for like a good year or so afterwards.
Wow.
And and that's the last I heard of his voice.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I mean, it's sad when I hear that. However, I saw a video not long ago, and it was a gentleman in England. And it was his wife's voice on the answering machine. And through AI, they were able to extract her voice, because what happened was there was either an upgrade or something changed on their voice message with the new plan that they had. And he was devastated. He was heartbroken because he can't hear his wife's voice. And they were able to get it for him. They had a technician that came in, and they went to his house and they played it for him. And he was like, he broke down in tears. It was so incredibly touching. And I do wonder if there's a way to do that. Because
I'm sure there is, because just a little update from last week. That little blurb that I played about with Ella Langley, with that video, with that voice, that of course was all AI. That was all bullshit.
Amazing.
Because can you believe that after the fact, after I decided I was not going to bite on this scam to give them my bank and credit card information to get a so-called signed guitar gift for $240,
right?
I get contacted like 2 days later, wondering why I haven't followed through yet, and there's another message from Ella Lang who's saying, apologizing for the misunderstanding. And I'm thinking to myself, doesn't she have like a tour that she needs to worry about? I mean, she's like taking time. I mean, so it's like, I'm thinking, this has gone to past the point of absurd. You know, she's like touring every night. She's at Soldier Field, in front of 80,000 people the other night. She was opening for Morgan Whalen.
Oh, wow.
Morgan Whalen.
Morgan Whalen. Actually, I've, a former neighbor of mine, her daughter went to that concert.
Right.
And
so,
so
I'm just saying that. So it just seems like, I guess you got to give them, whatever, a pat on the back for being so persistent. That's how they're trying to make their money, I guess, by just like, finding for like old lonely heart guys like me, right?
Owner of a Lonely Heart, classic.
And like, I'm going to sit there and just keep on asking me hard, often enough. Eventually I'm going to succumb, and I'm going to send my information, and they're going to empty out my bank account. I'm not going to get a guitar.
God forbid. That's horrible.
It's a cautionary tale for anybody out there who's getting these, like, especially on X. My God. I mean, there's so many scammers on X.
And I'm going to say this. I don't know if I ever told you this. And if not, you'll know now. Thank God I'm in touch with my dad. I mentioned we reconciled less than a year ago, back in October of last year. And I remember a couple of months after I reconciled, I received a very strange phone call from my dad. And he tells me he received a phone call from somebody. It was a scammer claiming that I hit a pregnant woman with my car, and I've been hospitalized.
Oh, my God.
In the crash. It's a horrible thing.
Wow.
So I remembered... I was blown away by that. So my father, to his credit, rather than forking over money to this fictitious law firm, called me. And he said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah. Why? What's going on?" He said, "I just received a phone call from some scammer that you hit a pregnant woman and you're in the hospital." I said, "Dad, I did not hit a pregnant woman. I'm not in the hospital. My car is okay. It is a scammer. Thank you, first of all, for calling me to check in. But more importantly, thank you for not wiring money over." And people do that. So let this be a lesson in the age of AI to anybody. If you ever get a phone call, even from an ex, say you're no longer in touch with someone who once was in your life, who you love, and you may never talk to again, which is terrible, but that's life.
Well,
I can promise...
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I can promise you this. If I received a weird call or a voice message or an email, "Hi, I've been arrested. I'm in Mexico. I'm in Mexico City or Tijuana, and they claim that I have drugs. You know me. It's not true. I need $5,000 wired to me. Can you do it? This is the account. Zelle me the money." And then you're like, what? You just kind of know bells and whistles go off, or red flags, I should say, not bells and whistles. And that's when you call, say, "Hey, listen, I know you don't want to talk to me right now, and I'm probably the last person you want to hear from on planet Earth. However, I just received a very strange email, and I believe you've been scammed, or someone's trying to scam you, and they want me to wire you money. Please let me know that you're okay and that this is indeed false. And if not, call me to prove where you are, or see me in person to prove that you're okay, or you tell me where to visit you or something." So you got to really be on top of it. Sometimes you get caught off guard.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't have to be anything of a digital nature or that kind of scam, because I was just reading, I get the Boca News Now every day,
yeah,
15 times a day. It seems they send me
yeah.
emails, updates. And there's this one particular gentleman, an older guy, roughly my age, 63, who's been scamming unsuspecting elderly people with all kinds of contractor work and promises to complete work. And he takes deposits from people that are, I hate to say, in this day and age, there are people that are still fall for the scam where they, well, I have to buy supplies to do the job, so I'm going to need a check for $1,000 up front to do the work, and then they're going to pay him an extra little bit of money for his labor. And this guy ripped off 2 people, and he got nailed on both. And he's like now sitting in the jail, like in the Boca area, and he ripped off somebody in Boca in Century Village. No shock here. He's preying on elderly people that are probably even older than him.
Who are on a fixed income and vulnerable.
But he's taking their money and he's not doing the work. And then they chase after him and he's got excuses, and then he disconnects his phone and this and that. And meanwhile, there's enough of a paper trail and a way to find them and all that, and I don't know if he has a contractor's license at this point, but boy, it's like that's going on all the time down there. So it doesn't have to be necessarily somebody popping up on your phone or calling you saying. It could be a guy knocking on your, hey, anybody need any work done? Any storm windows put up or hurricane shutters? I'm here. I'm your guy. Here, I just need a little bit of money up front to go buy some whatever. I don't know. Do you go out and buy hurricane shutters? I mean, most people have them already, right? I mean,
that is true. It's standard.
Maybe they're going to repair them, possibly, but I don't know. But that shit's happening. I mean, it happens all the time. It probably happens up here in Ohio too, man.
Well, also with roofs, there's a company that'll call you and they'll say, hi, you live in South Florida and it's mandatory. You need to change your roof like now. And then you're like, what? No, I don't. I've got a few years yet. And so there's a lot of those scammer calls. I've had one where I was falsely accused and the guy had an accent that I had an illegal shipment of cocaine, where I was, being told you're going to be under arrest. You need to, give yourself up. And I'm like, first of all, and I joked with them. I said, sir, cocaine.
That's illegal.
Yeah. I said, first of all, cocaine is for pussies. I deal in street grade heroin.
Yes.
So you have the wrong person. My heroin is as pure as the driven snow. No offense to cocaine users. Yes. And then the guy didn't know what to say with that. And then he hung up on me because he knew I was onto him.
I see your cocaine. I raise you fentanyl.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. Or angel dust.
Cocaine is so yesterday.
It is. It's so 80s.
And even
the
fentanyl,
80s called. They want their cocaine back.
There's something even more deadlier than fentanyl out there. That's
I'm sure.
In the streets now. Yeah, and they're putting it in. They make them look like little Skittles.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Rich, I've done presentations as an animated character talking about that very drug, where just because you see a bag of Skittles, it's not Skittles. It could kill you or hospitalize you at the very least. So it's so funny you mentioned that. It's the 6 degrees of Rich Marx. It's so funny. And I love doing stuff like that. I'm zoomed into classrooms across the U.S. and I do these video presentations or training videos that I voice. So it's a lot of fun doing that. And, they didn't have that when I was a kid. They didn't have drugs like that either.
Have you seen all the cautionary videos of mostly guys warning, and I guess it was one woman too, warning people about like innocent things that you just don't think really twice about, like someone you might find like a dollar bill like on your windshield.
Yep.
And or like there might be like a tissue that's like tucked into your handle on your door, or there might be something in your tailpipe or something.
There's fentanyl on it. Goes into your bloodstream.
Something that would just like debilitate you like almost instantly, and then the people will swoop in and grab you up, and lucky if you probably never be seen again. And it's mostly women that are being preyed upon there, and
Jesus.
Young women specifically. And you don't have to go any further than that to understand what that's all about. It's what a world we live in, right?
Horrible. So, you don't even think. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because now, if you don't hear stuff about, if you don't hear anything about those types of ploys, if you will, or scams or traps that people can lure you in, now all of a sudden I'm thinking about it. So you just did a PSA, for our esteemed audience and us too. So it's good you did. So you don't think, oh my God, someone left $1 in my windshield. This is great. All of a sudden you're like, pass out. So I worked on a film about fentanyl, by the way. It was called Laced When the Music Stops. So it's actually going to be in different, I think it's mostly in the Broward County school system. It's going to be distributed among high schoolers where they can watch this. I mean, I hope it goes national. I think it's for a great cause because people do need to see that and pay attention, especially at parties, just because somebody and says, hey, listen, I picked up this really cool candy. You want to try some? You're like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, have I ever done gummies in my life? Absolutely. But the source, where you're getting those gummies from. And I use it for either dealing with stress, anxiety, sleeping better. But if someone's at a party and offers me one, absolutely not going to take it. I better know the person inside and out before I even try something. So a little public service announcement for all you folks out there.
No, it makes makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially if you're with people that and the chances are
for sure
they've got whatever they've got and they've sourced it properly, and
they're
not buying it off on a street corner. If they're buying it from like a legitimate retail or like a online place that obviously is not going to be about selling you stuff that's going to kill you, because it's not good for business to kill your customers, unless you're a mortician, I suppose.
Yeah, that's as a mortician you'll do quite well
with the funeral trade somehow.
Anything is possible. So you're right.
So I'm digging for something here. I wanted to show you what's kind of funny, but
yeah, talk to me.
I can find it here. I'm always stumbling around.
Sounded like
here.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
I can find it
Clinton,
here.
a little Dr. Phil.
I'm going to try to find it if I can.
It was funny, but I wanted to send that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this guy is.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there he
is. Wow.
I actually made that myself today. I don't know.
Oh,
it may have
AI?
It may have been in existence, but I asked, I dialed it up, and this is what came up. Yes, this is the Elon Musk rat.
Yep. That's funny.
That's kind of cute, it's not the ugliest thing. I mean, it's kind of a cute little body. For some reason, I thought a possum was a muskrat, but no, a muskrat looks like this. Muskrat's actually pretty big. Wow. Possums are the ones with those really ugly faces. Like
God, they have faces that only a mother could love.
Yeah, exactly.
Something you'd see on an iodine bottle. My God.
Yeah. So there's our Elon Musk rat, and in that spirit, I wanted to. Do you see that, Phil?
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. Even I like the crayon, but I like he's got the Van Dyke. It looks pretty good. The Van Dyke on him.
So I've got something else here I wanted to show you real quick.
All right.
I got a lower. I guess it's something that happened, in the world of business and finance and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull this sucker up. Nope, not that one. It's this one. Nope.
Ooh.
It's gonna be this one.
Boy, my lights are flickering. I feel like I'm doing a Hollywood production. You see that? It looks like lightning. See that? Yeah, that's kind of cool. Wow.
So
we do have special effects here.
So
oh, Jesus.
People in the business world and the
whoa.
So
that is a drop.
The IPO for SpaceX hit last week, and everybody was
did it hit.
Freaking out, and whether there's the belief system that we're near the end, like we're reaching bubble top here because we're having all these, IPOs, like what's the one, anthropology or Anthropic or whatever. There's some kind of like AI military based application, Anthropic, I think it's called. And then of course chat or AI, chat AI or AI something. I honestly, I try not to dwell on this shit because I think it's all temporary until it all, it'll be around, but it's having its day. It's having this massive, what it called blow off top run up, and then it hits a wall and it crashes. And this has happened with SpaceX. Obviously it was well over 200 at its peak from the IPO, and
220 at one point.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if it's, if it's still way down today, if it's continuing its sell off, because the S&P is down, but it's hard to say. These things are gonna just have wild gyrations. It'll be up, it'll be down, but that's not good. When you see
it is gyrating, all right.
So somebody on X made a comment that was really kind of, apropos. He goes, I'm so pissed off. I hate Elon Musk. I hate him. I just took all my life savings and I bought options, the long call, outdated options, thinking the stock was going to go to 1,000, and my whole life savings, it's all gone, because, well, it's not gone because unless you sell, I mean, if you bought options, you buy them for a date in the future, as long as they didn't expire like Friday or expired this Friday. If they expire in 3-4 months, you never know. Things may turn around.
Keep in mind, dividends do reinvest also.
Well, you don't have dividends when you're buying calls.
Options. Oh, in this case, I don't own anything in SpaceX
and plus,
at all.
SpaceX isn't going to pay a dividend probably for years. I mean, it's just going to be one of these, stocks that run up on momentum. But I was thinking to myself, what kind of idiot would invest their whole life savings in buying calls for a stock like SpaceX? I mean, other than myself, what other kind of idiot would take their life savings and pour it in on a long shot bet? It's like taking everything you own and found 36 red. Spin the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Playing roulette.
What are the chances?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that just struck me as being really kind of funny.
That's something. Wow. But, well, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Best advice I can give anybody.
No, you nibble, or
that's exactly it.
If you want to just buy the NASDAQ or anything, because it's going to be. But then but let's face it, all these averages are so overvalued in terms of metrics that have been used really from the time they started doing calculations, valuation of all these markets. Yeah. So. Right now, people think the party's going to go on forever. And as long as I guess you can keep printing money and Trump can keep on coming up with new ways to spin the war, that now it's like, oh, we've won the war. Yeah, we've won the war. Okay, whatever you say, Mr. President. But whatever. But the market, and he said it himself, he admitted it, that, hey, every time I say something good, every time I talk about peace, the market goes up. Every time I talk about war, the market goes down. So, I'll talk about peace and the market will go up and everyone will be happy. Blah, blah. He thinks it's like just that simple, right? But meanwhile, all the little people in the middle get crushed by these wild gyrations and what's going on in the larger economy.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to talk about there, which is something that I think I wanted to, this is something that I think people should definitely get a chance to look at. I'm not going to play the video because it's really long, but I was watching this morning.
That's scary.
And we are running out of diesel, or we are so dangerously close. We have now in the context, I watched most of this video right now, and this video was done. Let's see, I think it was just put out this morning. I'm not sure exactly when it was recorded. It doesn't really say it right where I can see it real obviously, but it's very recent. It's like in the last day or so. There's only a 20-day supply of diesel in the country. 20 days. The normal amount, the cushion that we have abided by for generations, is usually in the 3 to 4 month range when things are slightly stressed. When things are great, we have like a 6 to 9 month amount of diesel, just as a backup to the economy, which is largely used in trucking, right? That's and in automotives and boats, cruise ships use diesel.
Yep.
All these uses for diesel, all these years were pretty well managed in terms of where the supply was coming from, our ability to refine it. Now, did you know, Phil, that we have not built a refinery
since 76, I believe, or something like that?
Pretty darn close, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they said 1973 was the last major diesel refinery built in the U.S. Yeah. We've been closing them at an alarming rate.
Yeah,
I think
and in 79 was our last nuclear power plant. So, what do you expect, guys?
We have been living in this charmed existence.
Yeah.
Really for multiple generations now, where we just assume it'll always be there. And the one wrinkle that was spelled out by this guy, and this guy's an investor, and the YouTube channel is Stansberry Research. Highly recommend it. America is running out of diesel, and no one is paying attention. So this is, something that I would, would recommend listening to. Very educational. My God, the lack of knowledge. What's that biblically? The perish from lack of knowledge or something. There's some kind of biblical expression along those lines where people perish from the lack of knowledge or something.
I have the gist of it. I forgot the exact quote, but it's relatable.
Yeah,
And people do. God helps those who help themselves. That I do know too. Like, you could lead someone to water, but you can't drink it for them. And look, I've tried to help people in my past, where I would try to give sage advice in terms of investments or economics. And again, I'm not a professional investor by no means,
nor am
but
I.
I also have intuition. There's certain things I know that do work, where you have to be very patient and you can invest money. And there's someone that I used to be very close with, and I wanted to help this person out. But you know what? If there's no interest or no follow-up, then I clean my hands, if I can quote Pontius Pilate, and that's it. And
Well,
so,
I,
what are you
I
going to do?
I have I have a very healthy thirst for knowledge at this stage of my life. I find that
Same here.
I like to learn stuff, and
Yep.
stuff that I'm not sure about. I try to bone up on and figure things out. And the thing that the one wrinkle that people, I mean, like, I don't want to insult a good chunk of the population, but there is a
Yep.
segment that is blindly, faithfully following this president, and they don't understand the folly of this war and what is coming, like, right down the pike at us. And it affects me because I work with a company that sells a lot of stuff and delivers it on trucks.
Yeah.
And while gas prices have come back down a bit,
To a degree.
yeah, they're under $4 in most places now.
Correct. Yeah.
And people are, like, sort of breathing a sigh of relief.
Slight sigh.
But what has not come down enough in any manner of speaking is the price of diesel.
Yeah.
That is impacting shipping and everything that we do.
And that's gonna raise your bottom line, and
Yep.
it's gonna be passed on to the consumer.
So you've got inflation that's already built in, that is not going to just, like, turn around and we're going to say, well, we're going to manipulate the numbers like the way they always do,
Yeah.
the CPI, and they'll say, well, the price of gas came down, so now we're going to have a big drop. No, there's still other things that are going to keep on going up, because you have to ship stuff. You have to get stuff from point A to point B, and we're putting through price increases on our customers. So you're seeing it at the grocery store. It doesn't matter if the price of gas comes down from $5 to $3.75. That spike from, say, under $3 up to $5, that's just strictly on gasoline. But the diesel spike went from $3 to $6, and that has not come down much lower on average. The national average is about $5.50. Oh. That's still a massive increase in how they have to raise their shipping rates on whether it's full containers or LTL, less than full truckload.
Sure.
All that stuff is being passed through. And once it starts getting passed through, it doesn't just stop and turn around. It has to burn itself out. So it's burning itself out to the higher. Now, here's the wrinkle. This is the thing I did not know.
Yep.
And I dare say probably 99% of the population doesn't know about. There are 4,500 data centers in the United States right now.
Yep.
That number is just mind-boggling.
Staggering.
4,500, and another 500 scheduled to be completed for the end of the year. And of course, and that has a whole host of implications.
Yep.
In all different directions.
Burns coal, water. It's like every precious resource.
Did you know that almost all of these data centers, they have to have backup power supplies?
Mm-hmm.
Almost every single one of them uses diesel as their backup fuel if there's any shortage. Kind of an outage, or God knows, what could happen if there's like a total grid collapse.
Yeah.
There's only roughly 24 hours worth of diesel in any of these, generators that they keep, in reserve for when they need the power. They said that if in one location in Loudoun, Virginia, which has
I know where Loudoun is. Yeah.
300 data centers in Loudoun County, in Loudoun, Virginia. 300 in one county. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
If they had to, switch to their diesel generators to just exist for 24 hours, it would create a nationwide spike of 3%. In a situation where there's only 20 days left of diesel. So whatever they think they've accomplished by making peace, because a lot of diesel was coming out of, those refineries that a lot of them have been bombed and been flattened. Let's face it. There was a lot of destruction. They're saying it's going to take 6 months just to sweep the Strait of Hormuz of mines.
Oh, geez.
Let alone rebuild. And then, then another thing that I learned from this video, that apparently diesel does not keep well. Diesel, when it's kept like in reserve and in these like generators, they have to cycle it out because diesel goes bad. Apparently, No, it's real. It's real
like
thick.
alcohol.
Yeah,
let me tell you, if you have like alcohol in a bottle, and you were to take that bottle of alcohol and you place it in another bottle to spray, say, clothing or something that you perspired in, when I mascot. Well, let me tell you, I had an old bottle of alcohol and I'm spraying my hat. I was working out this morning doing my trike. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, it smelled like ammonia. Didn't even smell like alcohol. And what a difference. And that's kind of a scary thing. So yeah, it's relatable what you're saying, but we didn't even discuss jet fuel. Think about that. Because forget the trucks. You also have items being shipped across the U.S. and elsewhere, people having to fly for business. I'm doing the best I can not to fly a whole lot. I mean, I have a couple of travel certificates I have to use within a year, and I'm going to try to use them, for March of next year, if even possible. The question is, how much are the flights going to cost? So it's going to cost me a pretty penny out of pocket. But you know what? I have a travel certificate valued at around $400. I'm going to do everything I can to try to use it in that one trip, if I can. I got very lucky this past April when I was in New York. Super lucky with the price. I think I paid $160 for a flight to New York round trip from Fort Lauderdale to LaGuardia, I think it was. Right. Not a bad deal.
Well,
anyways,
So just in this vein, with the scarcity of diesel, and it's not like this is like the Federal Reserve where you can just go and print diesel. This is like,
right, or like a 3D printer.
This is the where the rubber meets the road, where you have to find a way to physically make the stuff, get it to where it needs to go. Hope that it doesn't get blown up in the process, because people don't keep commitments to whatever, to stop firing at each other. And now you have the situation where if they don't have any diesel or they start rationing it, they're saying that, the price of diesel could spike to $10 a gallon.
I believe it.
Very easily. And then all kinds of things become uneconomic to
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the gas? Well, you and I both were old enough. I mean, you're a little bit older than me, but the gas shortage. And I remember that in the late 70s. And I remember being in Canada, and you'd drive by these gas stations that said no gas. And you'd see that, and what would happen is, if you had an odd number license plate, you could only fill up on certain days versus an even number. But people were siphoning fuel illegally. They would take a garden hose, they would suck out the fuel, and then they would end up, taking that fuel and putting it in their own car. And you're going to start seeing a lot of that.
Well, Phil, here's something from recent memory that I think we all kind of went down the memory hole. But do you remember about 4 years ago, you had that explosion at the Colonial Pipeline that they thought was some sort of domestic terrorism?
Sabotage, yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these gas stations up the whole Northeast corridor couldn't get gas. So you had people driving like on I-95 and, trying to find and going past like all these major truck stop areas, big signs, no gas.
Yeah.
And here you're driving along and like you're running on empty.
That was, it was under Biden. I do remember that.
Yeah. And so that was a recent memory. So that's just something that was like a one-off situation. But if it becomes like a nationwide thing, it's like, then all of a sudden everybody starts reordering their lives and their priorities. And it makes me think of a piece that Carrie Lutz, our friend,
yes,
the podcast, and
goes after those parking meters. I love him.
Yeah,
It's
he
the
published
best.
something on Substack last week that was like so really, really thought provoking. Where
Hmm.
he's wondering, like, okay, so the price of oil, gas specifically, has come way down. I mean,
Hmm.
crude is down and around like $70 a barrel right now for West Texas. That's a little bit higher for the Brent, the European stuff,
Sure.
but so it's down, not all that much higher than when the war first broke out in February. But what he speculated too about, with what's going on with silver and precious metals,
Yeah.
that this is kind of like the calm before the storm,
Mm.
is that every time somebody makes the decision to go off a, turbine combustion engine
Sure.
and go buy an EV with
Hmm.
all its other implications with, the lithium and the, you know, cobalt and all that stuff,
Sure. Oh yeah,
that
cobalt. Yeah.
for every less consumer of gasoline that switches now over to electric,
Hmm.
that lowers the demand. So the
Yeah.
demand for gasoline is slowly being degraded or eroded, whatever word you want to use,
Yeah.
to the extent that when you have a slowdown in the economy, which is also happening, which we're probably already in recession, most parts of the country, but when you have less gas being used because more people are going electric, and then the
Mm.
electric, of course, feeds into the demand for silver, which, he's convinced that silver is going to bounce around here. We're having a real rough couple of weeks, that eventually people are going to wake up and realize, okay,
Yeah.
you're going to want to be back in silver, and silver will have its next leg up, you know, knock wood,
Yeah.
you know, but, in that spirit, this just yesterday, I find out that my daughter and her longtime boyfriend both
Hmm.
traded in their combustion engines. They each got an EV. So
Wow.
my daughter, my oldest daughter, is now driving a little cute little Nissan EV,
Mm.
and he got an Acura. So they didn't
Wow.
get Teslas, but they got,
Okay.
because there's other EVs and Tesla. They're not the
Sure.
only game in town.
That's
So
exactly it.
so there's two people right there that I wouldn't have expected to be, because you associate EVs with, the wealthy, the upper strata, the ones
Sure.
that are driving around in the $130,000, electric BMW, electric Benz. Even the Tesla has one that's six figures, or the Cybertruck. You see those rattling down the road here and
Hmm.
there. Why anybody would want to buy those? It's beyond me. They're uglier than sin, but
Yeah.
um, it's like a dumpster on wheels. Really, it's what it looks like.
Hmm.
But so it really kind of it backs up his thesis that, yeah, I mean, especially when gasoline goes up to $5-6 a gallon,
Sure.
now you're thinking, well, it's time to take the plunge, right? Because even though, kilowatt rates are going up around the country, they're not going to go up as fast as gasoline goes from $3 a gallon to $6 a gallon in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
You're not going to see your kilowatt hour double in,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I just got my FPL bill, and let me tell you, it went up significantly
well, they
by
are. Yeah,
a third
they
of a
are.
33%. I was paying
You
like
know,
120 or so. Now it's like 188. And I'm like,
yep.
son of a,
That's what I'm hearing. In Florida, you're really starting to feel it,
yeah,
and a lot of it is due to demand. They're looking to build a whole bunch of data centers down there too,
that's
and
going to affect everything.
it's going to affect everything. Yep, it's something else, and a
It's
lot of
horrible.
electricity, believe it or not, is also generated with diesel,
Yes,
you
that's
know,
true. And coal, both.
and natural gas,
And natural
and
gas, yep. And nuclear
and
energy. Not that we're really focusing on that, but we should.
yep,
If you ask me, I mean, if it's good enough for France and Sweden,
yeah,
which basically nuclear energy accompanies what we're talking 80%, 77% of their overall domestic consumption, why shouldn't it be good for the US? And it's a much cleaner energy on top of all that. So for all the greenies out there, who
yeah,
I love when they protest against nukes, but I'm thinking, well, guys, if you're going to have all these data centers, you may not have a choice. You might have to go nuclear in terms of your energy, because that's going to change things. And, I almost thought about getting, solar panels, because where I live in my development,
yep.
I've seen that now. And yes, solar panels are going to cost you a pretty penny. It might cost you 10K easily, maybe more. But, in the long run, if I could end up lowering my bill and end up getting money back perhaps from FPL, that's something to consider. I have to keep all options on the table.
Well, I got that generator and it's basically it's multi source turns of
Love
energy,
it.
but one of the, of course, options is solar. If there's a power failure and I have to recharge generator or run something concurrently with the solar panels operating, as long as they could pull enough energy. And if I'm like trying to run, like charge a laptop or something, I don't know that I can necessarily run like a stove or a microwave with the power that would be coming through, but I might be up. But I think you can run the power coming in from the cells will at least be enough to do small appliances. So, but that's so, and also with respect to nuclear, you'd like to think that in the year 2026, that they've really put in more fail-safe technology.
One could hope.
No
less 3 Mile Islands here. Hopefully not.
You'd hope, or Chernobyl's,
I
right?
remember that too.
You'd have better quality and better
Chernobyl too. Yeah, 86.
Whatever contingency backup plans if God forbid there was a power failure. But now, of course, that calls into question, like, what are you going to use as a backup? Or of course, you have to then get water. Water has to be. Most nuclear power plants are right near water because you need to.
And the fuel rods
cooling.
Also, we have to be able to recycle them. I think we send our fuel rods overseas to France.
I know a lot of them go to up to either Nevada. Utah or somewhere. There's a mountain range that they put them all, like Yucca Mountain, I think it's called.
Yucca Mountain, that's right.
Where they all put all the spent fuel rods in there.
Correct. Yeah,
I hear real estate's real cheap around there. If you're looking at
it is. It's yuckity yuck. Like really inexpensive. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's a scary thought.
You can get some nice acreage up there for about $3.48.
And if you want to go bald, that's the place to go. So it'll do it. So
you can go bald most places. That's evidenced by my head. So I don't know. So that's just kind of like a seat of the pants run through of our impending or the doom that's coming with the with the everyone thinks we're out of the woods now. We were living such a tenuous lifestyle with our power supplies. People think, oh, we're like drill baby drill. All these idiots, take off those stupid MAGA hats. They're suffocating their brains or something because people think that you can just flip a switch. Hey, now we're going to be energy independent. When even with all the energy and all the natural gas and the fracking and the oil and our nuclear and our and our geothermal and our hydropower, we were still a net energy importer, believe it or not. With all that stuff, with all this big land mass and our offshore wells and all this various stuff that we do, and all our solar farms and our wind farms, we're still a net energy importer. We're mostly because of California has to import a ton of oil, believe it or not, for their refineries here. And it's a logistical thing because, bring it in on a ship, dock it in Oceanside or Port of Los Angeles, and then that oil gets sent over to the refinery and then it powers the state of California, which the economy for California is like the 7th largest economy in the world in terms of
was. I think GDP. That's going to change very quickly too.
Yeah, but it's in the top 10, and it's a country unto itself, without a doubt. I mean, 51 million people. Is that how many people live there?
I think it was about no. I think it's more like it was 40 or 39. Now it's about 38.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So
they should be losing some house seats, I would think soon.
They should be. I think they're poised to lose about, I think maybe 5 congressional seats, because their overall population is just shrinking.
Yeah.
Talk about shrinkage, if I can use an analogy from the great, George Costanza or from Seinfeld.
Yes.
So there you go.
Summer of Jerry. Summer of George.
Exactly. Fun times, man. I'll tell you.
So speaking of like congressional seats, and now this is kind of like something, I don't know if it's really even newsworthy, but the big announcement yesterday was that Tucker Carlson is leaving the Republican Party.
Well, not surprised. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, my God, like, geez, what was he honestly thinking that they even could relate to anything that he's doing these days? I mean, it's like,
you know,
why would anybody want to be in any party?
I'm unaffiliated. I've been unaffiliated for most of my life. And I don't have a specific party that I swear allegiance to. I do swear, but I don't swear allegiance to any specific party. But anyways,
swear at the parties, but not
exactly.
Swear by. Well, I mean, you could say, well, we were all libertarians here, right? We're all now libertarians, but but the Libertarian Party itself, you can't, you can't take them seriously.
Yeah.
They just, for whatever reason, they can't help themselves. They try to seem like they're reasonable and that they could eventually have like a groundswell of support. And then somebody will do something stupid and just like have something in their platform that nobody we should lower the age of consent for sex down to like 9 years old. It's like, what?
Or I support sweatshops or something like that because it's good for their economy. Look, I like John Stossel.
She was asking for it.
Yeah. John Stossel, I'm a big fan of. Okay. For the most part, he really was a breath of fresh air on the Anything But Credible network when he worked there.
Yeah.
However, he's made some really stupid statements, and one of which had to do where we're best off buying imported cheap clothing because you're giving jobs to children, and this way they're not going to end up being prostitutes. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I'm going to buy clothes that are going to come apart within 3 months, and then they're going to end up in some massive landfill in the desert, who exactly am I helping? In my case, I'd rather buy something that's domestically made, whether it be the US, Canada, or Europe, where the standards are much higher and the workers are treated infinitely better, you would hope. Then that's a chance I'll take. And look, I have a lot of my clothes, not everything I'm wearing now, but a lot of my clothes are either US or Canadian made, mostly US made. And it took me a long time to find them. I had to do a lot of research, just to find undershirts or underwear or t-shirts or jeans or suits or belts, whatever the case might be. But yeah, I would tell people, get me a gift card. Don't buy me, X, Y, and Z. I'll find what I need with a $100 Visa card. And that's what I would do. So, I think Stossel is completely wrong on that. And look, it runs in my blood. My grandparents worked in the garment industry. They did. My grandmother, God rest her soul, on my mother's side was a seamstress. My grandfather, who I'm named after, Philip, he was a cutter. And I remember passing by the apartments that they were stayed in. They take a bus. It took them to the factory. They worked, 9 to 5. They had a pretty good life and everything. They'd be rolling in their graves today if they saw what happened to the U.S. garment industry, where it's gutted completely thanks to NAFTA. Right. But we could talk about that on a different day, as they say. So to be continued. But it was a fun hour despite a few technical issues. And luckily, we're not in the red. We're in the green. And same bad times, same bad place, as they say.
Got a lot in today, and we covered some current events and some economics and some things that people need to think on. I think before they start to get too comfortable, and they may just want to just keep their ears to the ground because there's a train a coming, and it's powered by diesel.
Yeah.
Well, a lot less.
Well, a lot less. And right now I got to deal with a massive FPL bill, which sucks. So I'm just going to have to hope for the best. And again, it's summer, but my bills were a lot less in the winter, where you can have your windows open and not have to deal with mold.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it's worked out the way it's worked out here in Ohio, but our kilowatt hour, the cost per unit is roughly half of what it was in Pennsylvania, because our electricity bills are just almost like barely $100.
Yeah.
And we had an electric baseboard heated house.
Sure.
But even when, you wouldn't be using the heat in the summertime, our electricity bill, just from, everything that we would use, we don't have TVs running all day or fans, no less than $200 was any month. No, we've had bills here under $100 since we're not using the air because it's 74 degrees out.
Yep.
And we're not using natural gas. That bill was $74.
Jesus.
So I don't know. I mean, hopefully it stays that way. I mean, I don't know why it's so low, but it seems like there's a catch.
Yeah.
The catch is coming. My sense is,
Well, this is funny. So here's my FPL bill. Avoid summer bill spikes. Enroll in FPL budget billings by July 9th. Now, I kind of worry about that. Yes, I'll give you a $5 gift card. Not that could buy a lot, but, like what? Not even a quarter cup of coffee. So if that's the case, if it's budget billing, does that mean I'm going to have rolling brownouts? Are they going to turn off my power during the day for like an hour and I start to perspire a little bit? So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that.
Now, do you have your data from your bill? Can you see your kilowatt hour, what they're charging?
I would have to log on and check, but probably I wouldn't be surprised if I can. And I will have
it's funny. In Pennsylvania, we had a thing where you could find a third party to provide you like your trunk, what they call trunk fees or something.
Yeah.
It would be like you still have to pay an administrative fee to the main utility company,
yeah.
But all these companies were vying for your business, and you got like lower kilowatt rates, and some of them were like wildly lower. But you had to lock in for a shorter period. If you locked in for a longer time, you had price certainty, but it was a little bit higher. But it was like a website you'd go to, and there were like 30 companies. It was really confusing. But once you locked in, okay, this is what I know I'm going to pay now for the next like 18 months or 2 years. It's kind of a racket, honestly, because what they do is they hope that you forget that your thing expires, and then it reverts back to some much, much higher rate. Like your electricity will go up by 50% from 1 month to the next.
Yeah.
And because you forgot to update it or find a new deal to strike,
True. Speaking of.
Not like the old days.
Yeah, that is true. Another fun show. Very lively as always.
Yeah.
Check out that perspiration. Amazing.
Wow.
My God. Sweating out my impurities. Nothing wrong with that.
I was in my sweat lodge this morning.
Me too. It's called being outside in Florida.
I know.
I have like a free sauna while supplies last, at least through November.
Well, it's funny. Sue and I were talking yesterday or over the weekend, and it's been wildly, unseasonably mild here. It's been like highs in the mid 70s and breezy.
What I would do for that right now.
And it's like San Diego weather. And I said to her,
amazing.
This is my kind of weather. She says, yeah, well,
yep.
we're agreed there because we're in Florida right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's 92 degrees and 90% humidity.
Yep.
And it's like a wall of moisture and heat hits you.
It's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, the one upside is you drop 10 pounds in the first month.
That is
true. You lose
a
a lot of weight.
You are right about that. So, no question.
Anyway, but we'll be in the thick of it. In a couple
literally.
Of weeks,
so. All right.
And then we're going to Hawaii.
Oh, love it. Well, I look forward to our next obviously our next show, of course, as always, but more importantly, Florida. That's going to be exciting for sure.
Yes.
So
looking forward to it.
Yep. Likewise.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in today. We covered a lot of stuff. You're surprised. We really kind of once
and
we got the ball rolling.
Too.
Yep. Phil, staying
sweating
moist.
away. Look at that. Let's get a close up of that. Oh, geez. Anyway,
stay moist. Stay classy. Stay
I
moist.
am moist, like Duncan Hines. Oh, geez. I'll keep it classy. All right. We'll see you guys.
See everybody. See you next week.
Hunter's Blend Coffee, premium coffee for freedom-loving Americans. Many coffee importers view the world very differently than you do and would support lobbyists that fight against the Second Amendment, hunting, and our God-given freedoms. No matter where you buy your coffee or who roasts it, someone had to import the green coffee beans. Well, we are the coffee buyer, importer, and roaster. So from the farmer to your mug, you can feel confident that your morning coffee has been safely in the hands of patriots. Hunter's Blend Coffee.